What's going on, guys? Skogie here with another video back with the TKC. This is the final here at Wallingford at On Track Karting. I don't know why I forgot the name for a second there, but this is the last race, and you might remember that car in front of me, the 10 car, if you watched the last video, was very off pace. So that's something that I'm nervous about going into it. But then I get slammed going into the green flag, and I don't know if it like jacked my tires up or if it like knocked my motor around or what happened, but basically I got to an awful start because of the shots, and I fell back from fourth or maybe third depending on how you look at it. I guess I was on the outside, so I'll say fourth, but I fell back to fifth, and I really wasn't all that confident. It's, like I said, very hard to pass on this track, and I just wasn't prepared to make the moves that I knew that I needed to. I knew it was not going to be an easy fight, and that person in the 5 card there, you might remember, is Nathan Lavender. Lavender, I can't, I'm so bad at names, but I know that he is the person that I'm battling with in points, and I'm very worried about that. As well as the cart to my outside there with the green helmet, Anthony. I know he's pretty close too. I wasn't as worried in the moment, but honestly I should have been, looking back at the points now. But yeah, I'm just really worried about getting around the 10 cart, because I know that all of these guys, when they want to be defensive, they're very good at it. Not only that, but he just got shoved out of the way by everybody else who just passed him. He's not going to want to let me by once I get to him at this point, so I'm very worried. I really want to try to work my way around him. He totally shut the door on me there, and then I got shunted out here. I didn't think that was a very clean pass, but whatever. They ended up letting it slide, and he got defensive there and ended up kind of pulling away from me. So he probably would have got by me at some point anyway, but I felt like in a race that you also know, this race is 18 minutes. You might notice the video isn't that long. We'll get to that. So there's plenty of time to get around. But nonetheless, I wasn't in the best cart or in the best spirits at this point. I was getting shoved out of the way, and just I had been so confident just a couple corners ago, and now I'm being bounced around. I think I'm actually already in last place at this point. I'm not sure if I'm in last or in second to last at the moment, but either way, I am not in a good spot right now. So I am very frustrated, because I had thought that I was going to do really good. I had spent weeks coming here to their league nights and practicing. I think I came 4 weeks in a row to their league and trying to get into as many races as possible and make sure that I got practice in on this track, and it wasn't enough. These karts have like the longest time to build back up to full speed of pretty much any kart that I've ever raced. I don't know if that's from age or where, or if it's just like the style of kart, but because I thought I've raced other karts that are like similar to this or even the same as this that were a little bit faster on pickup, but then kind of didn't top out as well. These top out very well, but they just don't have very good pickup. So you can see there, green helmet finally gets to the outside of 10 cart there and makes the pass on him, and then the 19 is able to get through after a little push from me there too. So we managed to both get through them, and I'm expecting at this point, alright, you just got passed by everybody else on the field. You might realize that your kart's not that great right now, so maybe try to make a move soon and it will work out better than I thought, but not quite. I tried to make a couple moves and couldn't quite make anything happen, and that just frustrated me because I was very fast during the other parts of the track here where I could keep the throttle pretty much cranked even throughout the more technical sections. I was able to hold on to it. But as soon as I got to those hairpins where I had to completely let off the gas or hit the brakes really hard, I just couldn't build my speed back up to get back to him. And his kart was not very fast either. because there were times where I came out of the exit good, and I'm right on him, and you can see by the end of the corner I'm killing him speed-wide. So I knew my kart topped out a lot better. It didn't get to speed as fast as I wanted it to, but really it wasn't too different. We were close enough. I tried to make a dive there. That was a little bit aggressive, so I think I ended up getting the blue flag there, which, no, I let him back by. Okay, I let him back by because that wasn't a great move, but I ended up then losing a spot to the next person, which was not the plan at all. He pushes me super wide. I am able to kind of hold it, push there. He didn't get from me yet, but at this point I'm under a lot of pressure. I didn't realize that he was even there behind me. Like I said, I wasn't sure if I was in last yet. I kind of thought that I was, because I wasn't running great laps, obviously, and I was stuck behind this 10 kart. So I got a pretty good turn there, jacking up the brakes, and a very good exit here. I thought this was going to be my time, but again, I just didn't have the initial pull that I wanted. But you can see through the end of this corner here, again, right up to his bumper, letting off, and then right back to his bumper again. I have never been so frustrated. So I just, like I said, I was so confident coming into this week in this race, and to have it go completely differently than I was expecting was very hard for me to handle. It was hard for me to handle it at R1 when I had a tougher day than I thought I was going to have, but I still ended up doing pretty good, all things considered. A lot of the drivers that finished ahead of me weren't championship drivers, and the ones that did finish ahead of me had great days. They deserved what they got. But in this case, not only did I not do great, it wasn't really my fault. Like, I got kind of screwed by the reverse grid, and then I got very screwed by just being stuck behind this guy. I ended up hitting the wall there trying to push it too hard. You can see there, I shake my head again, so I'm getting very frustrated. Being shook there, I clipped the wall, just not hitting my lines as well as I should, but eventually I do kind of pull it back together, and I'm able to again pull back up to him. He's going a little bit defensive. I don't think he realizes just how much time that I lost there. If he had run a more aggressive line, it might have been better for him, but I don't know. With how bad his kart was, maybe not. But I did the same thing 2 laps in a row, which was just really bad. I let that guy by because at that point he was also pushing me a little bit. He wasn't like wrecking me or doing anything bad, but because of where he was pushing me, I figured, you know what, if I'm not going to be able to focus and put it together, I'm not going to keep holding him up. Maybe I can try to follow him by. Not that that was a very smart idea. I haven't been able to follow anybody else by the entire time that I've been racing on this track. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but just like, especially in this race, I didn't succeed at all. I don't think I succeeded in following Ben through in any of the passes during the sprint race. So like, I don't know why my brain kept going to that. I mean, usually it's not a bad strategy, right? Like, if somebody's out of the groove and you can stick your tires in there and earn a spot when they're not even allowed to turn in, it's a lot easier to do it then than when they can turn in and block you. So like, it's not a bad idea, obviously, but like, it just sucks that I couldn't make it work at all. You can see there, 6 got really good pull and was able to throw it in on this back corner. I got all the way up side by side. I clipped the outside wall there, but I don't think it would have mattered because I don't really have anywhere to hold the outside on that turn. If I did try to hold the outside, I think I would have just got shoved into the wall anyway. But with all this run, I decided to throw it into him again. He turned in super fast after clipping back around, so I was kind of like confused. I thought he was going to open up his corner because he turned back the other way, but then he turned back and then turned right back left. So I ended up hitting him. I let him back by because I figured it would be considered like a dive bomb or my fault, but I really don't think it should have been. But he's still throwing his hands up. He's clapping at me, just kind of being a dick about it, which I really don't understand because, like, I don't know. We've raced together the whole championship and not had any problems. So I don't know. But I keep racing. I figure it's not going to be a big deal. Like I said, I'm clearly faster at this point. I've been beating his bumper off most of the race, so I figure I'll be able to get back by cleanly. I'm not too worried about it. But like I had said before, this is an 18-minute race. There's plenty of time for me to do my thing. I'm still worried about the people behind me. And by the people behind me, at this point, I mean the leaders. They've made a ridiculous gap to me, and if I keep getting blocked and going this slow, we're going to get lapped. Keep in mind, I qualified P2 on speed. Now, I got sent to the back because of reverse grid and wasn't able to keep that spot, but there was absolutely nothing that I could have done better, right? I was running super fast lap times and just didn't have a way around him because of the differences in our karts. They were pretty equal at the end of the day. Like, we both didn't have great karts, but because I had it on exit, or not even exit, like at full speed, right? My car only was really at its best after like 6 full seconds of throttle, right? So it took a long time for it to get spooled back up, whereas he had trouble at the full speed but was able to run away from me in the corners. So we're getting told to move out of the way for the leaders finally, and we get lapped. At that point, I'm just really kind of over it. When you get lapped, your race is pretty much over. I'd been bumping him in the back, just running directly into the back of him, kind of like just showing how much faster I was. I tried to make a move here and get the switchback, and it didn't work again. I ended up running into the back of him. That was a really good move by him, honestly, just where he placed it on exit. As much as I don't want to admit it, because I'm upset about it, that was a good turn there, because I probably should have passed him after that. But again, just at this point, showing some displeasure, trying to get a good run in a good spot, but there's just really nowhere very good for me to get by him. So at this point, when it's pretty obvious he's not going to let me by, I give him one more shot to try to get by after that, but he does the same exact move there. I'm still shaking my head. At this point, I have not been this frustrated during a race in a long time. There are more leaders coming back by. I'm able to get out of the way, not really hold him up too much. He takes an extra second to get out of the way, which is whatever. I try to follow through there again, but I wasn't quite close enough because I moved out of the way too soon. I get to do his inside corner there, and it kills my momentum. And at this point, I figure if I'm just gonna be pushing him through the corners and we're a lap down, there's really no point in doing this. You can tell how checked out I am by how much I'm just like taking my hands off the wheel and not paying attention. But I said in my previous video, I kind of already had a little bit of a reputation at this track. I had made some pretty bad moves, I think 2 weeks in a row really, that maybe even 3 weeks in a row, that were just kind of too aggressive and weren't like really dirty, just caused problems. They weren't great moves. So knowing that, and knowing that I didn't want to totally ruin my reputation at this track, I decided that time that I was probably going to pull off and just give up. I had one more shot there because I had a run, but since it didn't work when I tried to push it through here and he put me into the wall, that really just kind of put the nail in the coffin for me. I was over this race. I was totally done with it. I wanted to give him one more shot again, just to, I don't know, be upset, and it was helping me get through it. But I go a little bit slower through that corner there. Like I said, I'm not going to do it, and I pull off and just take my last place. There weren't too many people in this race, so it ended up not being too detrimental on points, but it just sucked when it really could have been a really good day for me.